In a small village nestled high in the mountains, there lived an old baker named Hassan, who had a very special gift. Every morning before sunrise, Hassan would wake up, not to the sound of an alarm clock, but to the gentle song of birds, welcoming the new day. His bakery sat at the edge of the village, where he could see the entire valley spread out below him like a green carpet dotted with wildflowers. Hassan had learned the art of baking from his grandmother, who had taught him that bread was not just food, but a way of sharing love with the world. Every loaf he made was kneaded with patience, baked with care, and filled with the quiet joy that comes from doing something meaningful with your hands. The villagers would often say that Hassan's bread didn't just fill their stomachs, it somehow made their hearts feel lighter too. One morning, a young woman named Leila arrived in the village, carrying nothing but a small backpack and eyes full of sadness. She had been traveling for weeks, running from a life that had become too complicated, too fast, too overwhelming. The city she came from never slept, never paused, never gave her a moment to simply breathe. She felt like she had forgotten who she was beneath all the noise and pressure. Leila smelled the warm aroma of fresh bread drifting through the mountain air and followed it to Hassan's bakery. When she entered, Hassan was pulling golden loaves from his wood-fired oven, each one perfect in its own unique way. He looked up at her with kind eyes and smiled. "You look like someone who needs to sit down," he said gently, gesturing to a simple wooden chair by the window that looked out over the peaceful valley. Without asking any questions about where she came from or why she looked so tired, Hassan brought Leila a cup of mint tea and a slice of warm bread with honey that tasted like sunshine. As she ate, Hassan continued his work, moving slowly and deliberately, never rushing, always present in each moment. There was something hypnotic about watching him work. The way he shaped the dough, the way he tended the fire, the way he hummed old songs under his breath. "I've been baking bread in this village for 40 years, Hassan said as he worked. "And every day, the process teaches me something new about patience. You cannot rush bread. You cannot force it to rise faster than it wants to. You can only provide the right conditions, warmth, time, gentle care, and trust that it will become what it's meant to become." Leila found herself nodding, understanding that he wasn't just talking about bread. As the morning progressed, villagers began to arrive for their daily bread. Leila watched in wonder as Hassan greeted each person by name, asked about their families, and listened, really listened to their stories. There was Mrs. Amina, whose arthritis was bothering her, so Hassan made sure to wrap her bread extra carefully. There was young Ahmed, who was nervous about starting school, so Hassan slipped an extra cookie into his bag with a wink. What struck Leila most was the silence between conversations. In the city, silence felt uncomfortable, like something that needed to be filled. But here, silence felt full and rich, like soil where beautiful things could grow. She watched Hassan work in comfortable quiet and slowly felt her own breathing become deeper. Her shoulders relax, her mind grow still. After the morning rush, Hassan invited Leila to help him tend his small garden behind the bakery. Together they watered tomatoes, picked herbs, and pulled weeds in peaceful companionship. "Plants teach us the same lesson as bread," Hassan said, his weathered hands gentle with the basil plants. "They grow in their own time, at their own pace. All we can do is provide love and care, then step back and As the afternoon sun filtered through the mountains, casting long golden shadows across the village, Leila felt something she hadn't experienced in years: complete presence in a single moment. She wasn't thinking about tomorrow's worries or yesterday's mistakes. She was simply here, now, feeling the warm earth under her fingers, breathing the clean mountain air, listening to the distant sound of children playing in the village square. That evening, Hassan invited Leila to join him for his favorite daily ritual. They climbed a small hill behind the bakery, just as the sun was beginning to set. From there, They could see the entire valley painted in shades of gold and purple. Every evening, I come here to say thank you, Hassan explained. Thank you for the bread that rose perfectly, for the customers who became friends, for the quiet moments between the busy ones, for another day of simple, honest work. As they sat in comfortable silence watching the sun disappear behind the mountains, Leila realized that Hassan had given her something more valuable than bread or shelter. He had shown her that peace isn't something you find by running away from your problems. It's something you discover by learning to be fully present wherever you are, by moving slowly enough to notice the beauty that surrounds you every day, by treating each moment as a gift to be savored rather than a problem to be solved. When Leila finally continued her journey a few days later, she carried with her the memory of Hassan's patient hands, shaping bread, the taste of honey on warm morning bread, the feeling of cool mountain air filling her lungs, and most importantly, the understanding that true peace comes not from changing your circumstances, but from changing how fully and gratefully you inhabit each precious moment of your life.